Okay, welcome back. We're still looking through our Python level 1, or part 1, and we're on to our very last question of this part, which is good because last time this took us 20 minutes. Hopefully these bite-sized chunks have been much easier for you. Write a program which will ask for 3 numbers, save them in 3 different variables, and then we'll print out the 3 numbers, the total, and the average in the following format. The numbers were blah, blah, blah. The total of the numbers is, the average of these numbers is. How do I calculate an average? Ooh, if you don't know, maybe that would be something to get on the Google and check out. But we will go through that when we write it. Okay, something I want to talk about here is naming rules for variables. So I can go... I can say num1 equals, right? And I can take my integer input. That's how I get a number off the user. What is your first number? Okay, that's valid. That is valid Python. That's okay. I just want to talk about what we can't do. We can do that. We could have called this anything. We could have called this n. It's not that good because, and what does that mean? Oh, that's not as descriptive as we could be. We always want to be as descriptive as possible. We could have called it n1. Yeah, it's still the same problem. What I can't do is call it 1n. I can't start my variable name with a number. I can't use punctuation. I can use underscores though, but ooh, that's a bit of an edge case. I only want to do that if you're starting to feel like a serious hacker. And only if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. Readability is king. Okay, so I'm going to call it num1. And also, could I have done this? Could I have taken that side and put it over here? What is your number equals num1? Could I do that? Is that valid Python? Let's try it. Big red angry text again. Error message. No, that's not valid Python. The variable you want to assign, always on the left. Always on the left. Okay, let's undo that. Right, I'm going to take that line, copy it, because we are... The best programmers are the lazy programmers. No, that's not true. The best programmers are the clearest programmers. What is your first number? What is your second number? What is your third number? Great, I will have my input. Ooh, don't forget this. Make it look nice. Make it look nice. Get that little pink dash in there. Okay, right. We need to do something with these numbers now. And hopefully by now you've got the hang of this. F strings. Whoa, head's in the way. Okay. Scrolling down. The capital. The 3 numbers were, we need 1 of those, 2 of those, 3 of those, were num1, comma, num2, and in the middle. Don't forget the num3, there. Excellent. What was the second thing we needed? We needed the total, we needed an average. Print the capital total of the numbers is, and hopefully you've got the hang of this, num1 plus num2 plus num3. Notice here how my curly brackets there and the stuff inside it didn't go white. Why not? Because I have forgotten my F at the front. Boom, because now it's an F string. It's not an F string without the F before the string. Last one, print. You know what? I'm about to repeat myself. Let's do it. Why not? You'll feel the pain of it, and then I'll show you actually what's a little bit better. So I'm going to say the average of the three numbers is okay. Now, how do we calculate an average? Well, we sum up the three numbers and then we divide it by the amount of numbers there were. Now, I've already summed the numbers up previously in the code. You'll see here, I've already summed num1, num2, num3. I'm about to write out sum num1, num2, num3 again, and that violates a core principle of programming called dry. Keep your code dry. Don't repeat yourself. Don't repeat yourself. Don't repeat yourself. As I say, cool. So I'm going to pull this out of here, Control X, and I'm just going to make myself a new variable up here. I'm going to call it sum. No! Another variable naming rule. Sum is a function. It's a reserved word. Just like I can't call a variable print. Well, I can, but I don't want to because that would be a code crime. Code crime. It would make my life difficult later on. So I'm going to call it total instead. It's very, very handy with these text editors that they change color. Back when I was learning way back ago, you didn't have that and life was hard. This is much easier. So now I've assigned total, bad variable name, but we stuck with it. Total equals num1 plus num2 plus num3. And now I need to use that variable. And what am I going to say? I'm going to say total here. The average of the three numbers is, what is the average of the three numbers? Total divide by 3. Don't forget your F. And let me just expand that so you can see the whole code. My lines are distinctly a little bit too long, but we're going to live with it for the moment. Okay, so I'm asking for three numbers. I'm then totaling them up and storing that in a variable called total. And then I am printing 3 lines of text there using F strings, and it just makes it that much easier to read. Let's run it, see if it works. Always check your code. Okay, what is my first number? It's 7. What is your second number? Let's make it 4. What is your third number? 2222. Three numbers were the three numbers were 7, 4, and 2222. The total of the numbers is 2233, and the average of that is some horrible number which is not good for the user to look at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a function, built-in function called round. I believe it's in here. If it's not, then I'll edit this part of the video out. So round is a function. And I just happen to know this because I've used Python quite a bit. If I didn't know this, I would just be off to Google. I would be looking at the reference. I'd be looking at things like W3 schools is a good reference. And I would be taking that. It takes 2 arguments, 2 parameters. The first one is the thing you want to round. Second one is how many decimal places you want to round it to. I have put my curly bracket in the wrong place. My curly bracket needs to enclose the whole function, which includes all of the round function. So you see curly brackets on the outside, and then round itself has its own internal brackets. And then there's total /3 for divide, comma 2. I want to round whatever total /3 turns into. I don't need to store that anywhere. I can just calculate it right there. I want to round that number to 2 decimal places. Okay. Let's try this again. Something funny is happening. What is happening, Repple? Connect. Please hold, caller. If all else fails, turn it off and on again. No, there it is. Wonderful. Don't have to do that. What is your first number? Let's make it 1. What is my second number? Let's make it 4, and let's make it 4. The total of your numbers is 9. Average of your 3 numbers is 3. That was a little bit silly for me to pick those numbers. What I wanted to pick actually was 1, 4, and 5. There we go, so that I can show it rounding to 2 decimal places. Much nicer to look at. You could have rounded it to 1 decimal place. You could have said that it had to be an integer and that it had to have no decimal places. That's up to you as a programmer to decide that. Wonderful. That is the last question of part 1. That is part 1 complete. And then we'll be on to part 2. You'll be looking at me from the past, having done the videos before with slightly worse audio and possibly slightly less shaggy here. And I will see you sometime after part 6, when I'm back, me in the future again. See you there.